time for Vidalia Heritage Baseball on the VHA Sports Network, brought to you by Vidalia Heritage Academy, where faith, family, affordability, and academic excellence meet, and by the Smith Street Baptist Church of Vidalia, loving God, loving people, and making disciples.
And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the very first broadcast of the Vidalia Heritage Eagles streamed across the Smith Street Baptist Church app. Today we are getting ready for a doubleheader out here in Higgston at the Higgston Baptist Church complex between your Vidalia Heritage Academy Eagles and the Citizens Christian Academy Patriots. Today is going to be a great day for some baseball, as any day. We've got some cloud coverage across the area, and it even looks like rain, but we're hoping that it'll just continue to provide us with the needed shade that we've got to have out here as we get ready for two games. Now, we'll be playing 5 innings for each one of these games, so don't get confused if you're listening later on as we get towards the end of the 5th inning and we call a game over because of the doubleheader. 81 degrees outside right now, and I'm going to go through some starting lineups, and we're going to hear from Coach Sora in just a minute as we come back. Sorry, I'm being corrected, my Yankee side of me. Coach Sorrow coming up in just a minute, so stick around. You're listening to Vidalia Heritage Baseball on the Vidalia Heritage Radio Sports Network.
Did you know that the Apostle Paul said in Romans 8:38 and 39 that he was convinced that God is so loving and powerful that nothing could separate a Christian from the love of God found in Christ Jesus our Lord? That should take the pressure off of being a perfect Christian, since there's no such thing. Now, that doesn't mean we should stop trying to live a life that honors God. It means we should live a life that honors God because of His greatness and our love for Him, and not our fear. Find out more by visiting us at Smith Street Baptist Church.
From preschool to high school, Vidalia Heritage Academy focuses on spending quality time with each student to equip them spiritually, intellectually, and physically. And in every setting, the classrooms, the hallways, the playground, or the ball field, we reinforce the same values and character qualities you teach at your home, helping your children learn to love God and love each other. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
And welcome back, everybody, to the VHA pregame show. Vidalia and CCA, VHA getting ready to go at it. And we had a chance to talk with Coach Sorrow earlier.
Time to talk with Coach Sorrow. Coach, tell us a little bit about this big doubleheader today. It's the end of the season, 2 games back-to-back. What have you been telling your guys to get ready for this closer?
You know, we've just been talking all year. It's been progression, getting better each and every game. You know, always want to finish on a good note. You know, you always want to end the season on, some big wins. And, CCA, they're a school. Coach Quorum, he left from here. He's now the coach there. And all the kids, they always want to put a big impression in front of him. So, I've just been telling them, hey, let's go out on a big note. Let's go, on a high note. And let's get a few wins and, leave it there.
As far as injuries are concerned, I know Banks is out with the broken arm. How healthy are we going into today otherwise?
Other than Banks, he's a big part of the team. But other than that, we're full healthy, all arms ready to go. So we'll see what we can and can't do.
All right, Coach, last thing before we let you go out there, keys to the game, 2 games, 30-minute break between first and second game. So we're going to be a little more tired. We're not playing 5 innings. We're playing 10 if it doesn't go into extra, and we'll cross our fingers. So, Coach, what have you done, maybe keys to the game, and what have you done to prepare for the extra innings that you're going to have to play today?
Well, we got all arms are fresh, through a couple flat grounds, a couple bullpens. We've actually added a few more catchers to the roster as well to get ready, for the long innings and possible extra innings.
All right, Coach, well, we'll talk to you after the second game, and hopefully it's on a winning note for 2 games and the end of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, once again, thank you to Coach Sorrow for talking with us today. And we will not talk with him during the post-game show after the first game, but after our second game doubleheader, after everything wraps up for us today and for the season, we'll talk with him, get his highlights, or rather his thoughts on the highlights of the games, and look back over the 2017 VHA baseball season. Coming back, we'll talk about your starting lineups, and we'll tell you what's coming up. A little special first pitch is on the way. And who's going to throw out the first pitch? Well, we'll tell you about that coming up after this. You're listening to VHA Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
At Vidalia Heritage Academy Preschool, we believe there's nothing more precious to a parent than the children God has given them. Our goal is to partner with parents in providing each student with a solid foundation of academic excellence while integrating God's Word and truth into every aspect of their daily activities. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education can make for your preschooler. Call 537-8776 for more information.
Psalm 120 says, I call on the Lord in my distress, and He answers me. How many times can we honestly say we've felt distress? Well, the answer isn't as easy as you might think. For some, they've felt it a lot, and for others, not so much. Regardless, we must remember that the psalmist wasn't any different than we are, in that if we call upon the Lord, He will answer us. We may not always get the answer we want, but that just means we need to conform to His will and not to our own. Join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. at Smith Street Baptist Church, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Getting ready to get underway with the Vidalia Heritage and CCA game. Sitting with me before we talk about starting lineups is Headmaster Jeff McCormick. Mr. McCormick, a lot of stuff going on at Vidalia Heritage now. Getting ready to finish another baseball season, and I know you got to be looking to some exciting stuff with football. Tell us what's coming up.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of things going on right now. This is our last baseball game of the year. It's a doubleheader here with CCA, and so we're very excited about how well the guys have played. Another winning season in our 3 years, and so that's good. But got some other things going on. We have our varsity golf is in their first ever match today down at Savannah. We have a track team that's working now, and they have a meet tomorrow and then again on Thursday. And then also tomorrow we have our varsity and middle school tennis. But you mentioned football. Now that's an exciting part. You know, we had a middle school football team this last year, and that was great. Went 8-0 in the region and went to the playoffs and unfortunately lost there. But then just felt like we had a bunch of kids that wanted to come on out and play in the varsity level. And so had a big informational meeting last night. So we're really, really excited about that and already have our schedule set up for next year. And right now it looks like our home opener will be on August 25th against Appling Christians. So we're excited about the upcoming athletics season. But more importantly, we're excited about what we're able to build into the hearts and lives of these kids, the character, the Christ-like character in them.
Now this is varsity. I think it's 8-man, or
that's right. This will be 8-man. We have enough in the middle school level to play 11-man, but we're going to play 8-man one more year, and then we'll probably play 2 years of 8-man at the varsity level, and then hopefully move to 11-man and begin to compete there.
That's got to be exciting. Are these games going to be on Thursdays or Fridays? Or how's that schedule going to go?
The middle school games will always be on Thursday. There may be an occasional Tuesday game, but normally on Thursdays. And then the varsity games will be like everybody else. They'll be on Friday nights. So we'll be on there Friday Night Lights.
Now, will you guys be playing out here at the Higston Complex for those, or do you know yet?
I don't think we'll be playing here at the Higston Complex. There aren't any lights here, and so we've got some things in the work right now that we're not at liberty to really discuss. But we think we're going to have a great facility to be playing in this fall.
That sounds great. Now, I want to correct you. There are lights. They're just over there on the ground.
Yes, those are our lights laying on the ground over there that we brought out here from the old rec center downtown. But we're looking forward to being able to move them maybe somewhere. But we don't have lights up in the air. Put it that way.
Well, you know what? You've got a lot of great things. Seems like every year there's another announcement with a big thing. God's really blessing the school and what the vision. I mean, the numbers are growing, and it's not just that, but there's more opportunities every year for more students.
That's right. More opportunities, more facilities in the midst now of a building campaign and looking at just continuing to expand so that we can meet the need here in the community for people who really want to experience what a Christ-centered education is all about. You know, you can do a lot of things in the education field. I know we have great friends, and I know you have great friends too that are all across there, but it's our worldview that we want our kids to look at the world with through the lens of Scripture, to think biblically, act biblically, respond biblically, and that's the big difference in what we do. So we're very thankful that God continues to give us that honor and privilege to do that.
All right, well, Mr. McCormick, congratulations on another looks like it's going to be another successful year. Still about 9 weeks to go or so, but another successful season here with the athletics, and we look forward to what God continues to do as the summer and the fall gets here.
All right, well, thanks, Coach. We appreciate all you guys do, too. Thanks.
All right, Mr. McCormick, Jeff McCormick, the headmaster, talking with us about all the great things going on at Vidalia Heritage Academy, and we appreciate that. The wind blowing in here, those clouds are doing their job, keeping the sun off of us. Of course, you can hear how windy it is as it blows in from center field right into our face. Coming back, we'll talk about the starting lineups, and we had to push the start of the game back about 5 minutes. We were waiting on the equipment, but I've been told that we're going to get started in just a few minutes. So we'll do your starting lineups. After this, you're listening to VHA Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
The Apostle Paul said in Romans 8:38 and 39 that he was convinced that God is so loving and powerful that nothing could separate a Christian from the love of God found in Christ Jesus our Lord. That should take the pressure off of being a perfect Christian, since there's no such thing. Now, that doesn't mean we should stop trying to live a life that honors God. It means we should live a life that honors God because of His greatness and our love for Him, and not our fear. Find out more by visiting us at Smith Street Baptist Church.
From preschool to high school, Vidalia Heritage Academy focuses on spending quality time with each student to equip them spiritually, intellectually, and physically. And in every setting, the classrooms, the hallways, the playground, or the ball field, we reinforce the same values and character qualities you teach at your home, helping your children learn to love God and love each other. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
And welcome back, everybody, to VHA Sports Network. I'm Chester Proctor. It's our very first time broadcasting any of our athletics and activities out here. We're excited to be out here at the Higston Sports Complex, getting ready for a doubleheader today. And it's against the CCA Patriots. We are just about 10 minutes away, I'd say, or so before we start things off. You can hear that wind whipping against us, so it's not bad out here as long as that sun will stay behind those dark clouds. And as long as those dark clouds will keep the rain off of us and keep the water in them, we'll be okay. Let's talk about your starting lineups. We got some partial names, and I apologize for that. But we've got all of our names, and that's what matters the most. And then we're talking about these opponents that we've got here with partial names. So we'll talk about leading off for the Patriots, and playing in center field will be Mick Swells. Playing shortstop and batting second will be Brock. Pitching on the mound for the Patriots will be Avery. Out at third base and batting cleanup will be Michael Roberts. The left fielder is going to be Michael Ortman. He'll be batting in the fifth spot. Will Landron will be second base and batting in the sixth spot. Stetson Swells is batting in the seventh spot. He's playing behind the plate, catching. In right field, Kaysen will be batting eighth, and Walker will be coming into the ninth spot, and he'll be playing out in... looks like he's going to be playing first base. And leading off for your VHA Eagles, Connor Whited will be leading off, and he'll be playing in the number 4 spot at second base. Cade Bell is batting second, and he'll be playing short today. Sloan Fountain on the mound and batting third. Ledger Curl is at third base, and he'll be batting cleanup. Mason Beecham is at first today, batting in the fifth spot. Logan Menard, she'll be batting in the sixth spot. She's out in left field today. Rhett Sykes is designated hitter for Clay Morris, who will be playing out in right field. DJ Smith, batting in the eighth spot, will be playing behind the mound. Behind the plate, catching. And in the final spot of that lineup, Tate Sykes is going to be out in center field and batting ninth. The coaches are at the plate, and they're having their meeting with the umpires. We're going to have the first pitch and opening ceremonies, prayer, and national anthem coming up in just a little bit. So stick around. Game 1 of the doubleheader between VHA and CCA is on the way right here on the VHA Sports Network.
Vidalia Heritage Academy is expanding its facilities and programs to meet the ever-growing desire for a Christ-centered academic experience which focuses on a student's total development, academic, social, physical, emotional, relational, and spiritual. Come visit us to learn more about the expanded programs for next year, such as dual college enrollment, fine arts, mission outreach, and our new varsity football team. Come discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
1 John 3:18 says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Have you considered the statement, actions speak louder than words? Maybe you've been in a situation where someone you know treated you bad, apologized, and then kept repeating that over and over, and eventually you've probably had enough. Think about that the next time you have the opportunity to put your actions in place of your words, and love people through your actions and your words. Join us this Sunday at Smith Street Baptist Church, 503 Smith Street, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples. The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
And we're back here at Vidalia Heritage, Hickston Field, getting ready for the national anthem. And our prayer time as we look at about a 3:35 start, they said, with the first pitch. We're going to have the first pitch is going to actually be thrown out by Chick-fil-A owner Britt McDade. And, of course, we appreciate all that Chick-fil-A does for the community and for what Britt does as part of the community and his family. And if you're out here, or you head out this way, you will see that in the middle of the field, you'll be able to see Chick-fil-A sign right under the left side of our scoreboard. And, of course, we thank Chick-fil-A for doing that and Spivey Orthopedic Clinic for sponsoring the scoreboard. We're going to stand for the national anthem and prayer. So we'll stop talking and we'll let that go on.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come into this place and to play this great game. We thankful for these young men and women who've assembled here together today. We pray your blessings upon them, that they come and they play to the best of their abilities, and in everything they do, that they give you honor. We pray for all the spectators today. Again, Father, we would have an incredibly great time, but we would also honor you with our own actions. And we pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. We're going to ask all of our players, we don't have the lineups right now. We are going to ask if you'll look out in center field. We are going to ask, say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, guys, we're going to recognize now, coming onto the field, the Chick-fil-A cow, escorted in by Britt McDade, who's the owner-operator of Chick-fil-A here in Vidalia, who's also one of our primary sponsors for our scoreboard out here in right field. And so Britt is going to throw out the ceremonial first pitch.
All right, so Britt McDade has come to the mound.
There he goes.
He's going to get out there on the pitcher's mound,
like
and
back in the day.
We've got the Chick-fil-A cow in the back here behind the plate.
Let's see who's going to bring the high heat.
And here's the pitch, and it's a very high ball on the outside corner, so he gets the strike.
Incredible ball game. Good game, guys.
So we're excited now. This first pitch, ceremonial pitch, has been thrown in by Britt McDade, the Chick-fil-A owner and operator in Vidalia, which means we're ready to get underway. If you're just tuning in, Vidalia Heritage getting ready to play CCA in the very first game of the doubleheader today, and the very first game that we've been able to bring you the games. Excited to be able to have this opportunity, and we praise God for the technology and abilities that we have been afforded to do just this. So we're just going to wait here, keep it here instead of going back for another break, because we may be less than 60 seconds away from getting somebody out on the field. Their batters are ready to go. They'll be batting first, obviously. They're the away team. They're going to be the away team for both games. We're the home team for both of these games today. Wind is now blowing in from center. That flag is steady waving, but it's not waving towards center, towards us from center. It's really waving more towards right field. You can probably hear that wind in your headphones or on your speaker. But I'll try to make sure that we talk around it and over it, and we'll enjoy it because it is so necessary. Because it's been hot out here. It has been hot out here. Sloan Fountain's going to get the start for the Heritage Eagles on the mound. DJ Smith behind the plate making up the other half of the battery. Sloan now on the mound with the first pitch to warm up here. And a fastball, good sized, good fastball on the outside corner. Well, what would be the inside corner if you're the righty. Leading off for the Patriots, it's going to be Mick Swells, the center fielder. And then this is that situation I was telling you where we don't have a couple of their last names, and the gentleman who gave me the starting lineups wasn't sure. So we'll just use their first names, or maybe these are their last names, some of them, and we'll pretend. Brock will be the second batter, playing short, and in the 3 spot is the pitcher Avery for CCA. Sloan Fountain getting a few more warm-ups off to the side here. Mick Swells getting ready. Sloan Fountain changing hats now. We are ready to get underway, it seems like. We're just about done warming up. Sloan Fountain got some nice speed off of that mound. A little bit high there as he continues to warm up, but he's got a nice fastball. Comes right in, hits his mark just about every time. Has a little break to it off the back of the edge of the table when he wants to, but good pitching. And that's what we're going to need out here today. Beautiful day. Wind is nice. Feels good. I know it's loud in your ear, but it feels good. So, and I think we are just about ready to go. Logan Menard's going to be out in left field. Tate Sykes is at center. Clay Morris is in right. Cade Bell's at shortstop. Your infield, along with Cade Bell, looks like this. Mason Beecham at first. Connor Whitehead at second. Ledger Curl at third. And, of course, mentioned Sloan Fountain on the mound. DJ Smith behind the plate. Well, that's going to be the last warm-up pitch as DJ Smith throws it on out there to second. And we're going to go ahead and get ready to go here as Mick Swells makes his way to the mound or to the plate. He'll be our first batter today in this doubleheader. We will break at the end of this game for about 30 minutes from the end of this game to bring you to give you these guys a break, and then we'll come back in the broadcast. So make sure you stay with us if you're listening to us today. And come back. Actually, come on out here if you can. If you're local and you can come on by here, come on by here. It's 82 degrees, but that breeze is nice. Feels a lot cooler than that. 3:37 is your start time. So we're just a couple minutes behind here on the first pitch from Sloan Fountain. He's set now on the mound. Wind up, here comes his first delivery. It's going to be hit high out towards right, but it's inside the infield. Sloan Fountain up under it and makes the catch for out number one. So the fly out to the pitcher sends Mick Swells into the dugout and brings out the shortstop, Brock. Avery waits on deck. Michael Roberts, third baseman for the CCA Patriots, sits in the hole if they can get that far, but now one is away. The right-handed batter, Brock, shortstop. Pitch on the way to Brock. Swung on, a little late swing, and he's going to get a piece of it, but foul it off to the right side to record the first strike of the ball game. And the first strike for Brock. Behind in the count now 1-0. Fountain needs a ball. We don't have a baseball. There we go. And Blue had him. He was just hanging on to him there for a moment. So he throws it on over there, gives it DJ back to Sloan Fountain. And now Brock steps back into the box. The pitch from Fountain on the way. Fastball gets a piece of it down in the dirt, but it's a dead ball as it hits the plate and bounces back towards the screen. 2-0 the count now on Brock. No score. We are early. Here in the top of the first inning. CCA with one out. Behind in the count now, 2-0 is Brock. Sloan Fountain with the pitch. Inside over his head. Brock has to duck down to get out of the way of it. So ball one for Brock. It's a breaking ball. It was just in the wrong position. That's all right. Fountain will regain his composure. He's still ahead in the count 2-1. The delivery hit up the third base line. It's going to get out into left field. It's going to get out to Logan Bernard, who's going to have to get it in to stop it from becoming a double. And the line drive out to left field, just right through the gap. Puts Brock down there at first on a 2-1 count. Now that brings up the pitcher, Avery. No score, one out, but now they got a runner at first. Fountain checks back the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Swung on. They're going to take off to second. It was a ball. Throw to second. It's going to be over the second baseman's head and out into left field where Tate Sykes is going to cut it off and stop it from becoming dangerous. And Brock just had Fountain's number. It was a good job stealing as he steals second. So now it's 1 ball, no strikes with a runner in scoring position, 180 feet away. Fountain looks back at second, wants to make sure Brock's not going to take off again. He stares him down. He starts to step off and kind of get him back on second there with a little fake out. Fountain basically saying to him, hey, you got no business going down there. Get back. Brock now with a lead off of second. Fountain checks back again. And the batter calls time, steps out of the box. Batter is the pitcher, Avery. He'll be coming up in a little bit and throwing at us. No score right now. Early in this game, but there's a guy on second. And that's Brock, and he stole second. Pitch is on the way, and he takes off to third. Swung on, it's hit hard. This one's way out to left field. Menard's not going to be able to get to it as it looks like it hits, and it clears. A home run, a 2-run homer for Citizens Christian. Avery results in the 2 RBI. I mean, it was just across the plate fastball, and he got a piece of it. And when I say he got a piece of it, he got all of it. He got all of it and sent it out of here over Menard's head, right out in left center. So the score now just that quick. We're behind 2-0. That'll bring up Michael Roberts, 1 out away. Fountain's going to have to shake that off and not let that play into this game. It's way too early to be concerned about anything like that. Pitch on the way. It's going to plug him right in the back, and he's going to head on down with a hit by pitch. So Michael Roberts now at first. And Coach Sorrow is going to go out there, talk with his pitcher. And he's probably going to tell him what I was just saying. And that is just, listen, calm down, shake it off. Way too early. Just no big deal. It is a big deal, but it's not a deal breaker. It's way too early for that. So Michael Ortman's going to come to the plate. He is the left fielder for the CCA Patriots. They call him Otter. Now a batter on first. The runner is Michael Roberts. He was hit by a pitch a moment ago. First pitch is going to be down and outside for ball 1. 2-0 your score early in this game. We're behind now with a 2-run homer by the pitcher. Back to first is not in time. It goes past first base. The thrown ball gets behind Mason Beecham and goes to the fence. And on the error on the first baseman is going to be Michael Roberts down at second now. So now they got a runner once again 180 feet away. Pitch is on the way now. He gets a piece of it off to the right side and out of play to even it at 1-1. Michael Roberts hit by a pitch, then gets to second on the error. And now that 1-1 count on Ortman with 1 out is looking not as good. Or it's an even count. We'll take it. As Sloan Fountain checks back to second. Pitch on the way. It's high, and it hits him in the head or in the bat. I couldn't because the fence ball was in my way, but nevertheless, Ortman was hit by the pitch. I think it went across and hit the bat. And now Will Landrum will come to the plate. 1 out. Now they got runners at first and second. Pitch on the way to Landrum. Swung on, mistimed it. He was late behind it for strike 1. It's a little breaking ball. And he chased it, and his timing was off. 2-0, your score. Pitch on the way, high. They take off to third, and now you've got runners at the corners as Michael Roberts steals third. And Michael Ortman's at first. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Will Landrum. 1 out. We're behind 2-0. Pitch on the way. They take off to second. DJ's going to hold it. And that was on the outside pitch, makes it 2-1. And now they got 2 runners in scoring position. Our score 2-0, top of the first inning. Fountain with the delivery. Gets back behind Smith. They're coming home. Fountain's going to get down there, but not in time to cover it. And they're going to steal home on the passed ball, or we'll give them the wild pitch as it got into the dirt. So on the wild pitch, Michael Roberts heads on down to cross the plate. Michael Ortman gets himself 2 bases on that. And Will Landrum is still there with a 3-1 count. 3-0 your score. 3 balls, 1 strike on Landrum. Runner at third. Fountain checks over to third. Looks again. Winds up the delivery. Breaking ball. Calls it to the outside, and he takes it for his walk. So Will Landron takes his place down there at first. Now you got runners at first and third again. Brings up the number 7 batter, Stetson Swells. Back to first is not in time. It goes past the bad throw over Mason Beecham, or past Beecham. I don't know if Beecham just missed that or if that was a problem, but either way, it's the error. Michael Ortman will cross on the E3. And Will Landrum will take off and head down to second on the error. And we're racking up a few too many errors here early in this inning. And now the delivery is going to be across the plate. Fourth called strike on Stetson Swells. Runners at second and third now. No, excuse me, that one scored. Runners at second. It's Will Landrum. 4-0 your score. We're behind. Pitch on the way. Swung on, hit out towards the shortstop. It's going to get over Cade Bell's head, and it's going to get out to Logan Menard, who's going to pick it up. The throw's going to be in, but not in time. They'll go back to second to get the tag. He'll be under the tag. So Stetson Swells with a double. And an RBI double at that. Brings Will Landrum all the way home from second. Your score now 5-0. It's top of the first inning. They're up to their number 8 batter, Kaysen. Runner at second. One out. Oh, that was Kaysen. Yeah, it was. They walked Kaysen on an intentional walk. So that'll bring up the number 9 batter, Walker. As that was our decision. Pitch on the way. Fastball across the plate, called strike 1. I'm glad Mr. McCormick told me that. It happened so fast as I was taking notes down that I didn't see the young Kaysen head on down to first. Maybe we're trying to set up a double play here. We've got an opportunity for one. Pitch is on the way. It gets back behind Smith. They take off to third and second. And on the pass ball, or the wild pitch down in the dirt, Stetson Swells sits at third. And Kaysen sits at second. 1-1 the count on Walker now. 5-0 and runners in scoring position again. And that fastball, breaking ball rather, across the plate for called strike 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Walker. We're 1 away. We need to get these other 2 outs and get a chance to start hitting. It's top of the first. We're behind 5-0. Runners 180 and 90 feet away. Pitch on the way. Fastball across the plate, called strike 3, so we pick up that out. Gets Walker looking for out number 2. And at the plate now is the first out of this inning, batting around. Mick Swells, the number 1 batter. They got runners at second and third now. He flied out last time at bat on an infield fly that was taken care of by the pitcher, our pitcher. First ball's down and low for ball 1. So if we can get this out, we'll go in and have a chance to come back and do some repairing. Pitch over his head. DJ's going to have to get it. He's going to get back to Sloan Fountain and not in time on the wild pitch that was just over his head. Stetson Swells steals home on that. 6-0. 2-0 the count now on Mick Swells. That advanced Kaysen on down to third. Pitch on the way. It's outside for ball 3. Three balls, no strikes now on Swells, the number 1 batter, batting his second time around. 6-0 your score, but now 2 away. The 3-0 delivery, breaking ball off the backside, gets him for a called strike and a chance there to come back and knock him out of here.
Let's go, Sloan.
Remember, runner, it's the third now. That's Kaysen. Sloan Fountain now with the 3-1 delivery. He chases it, but he gets a piece of it upstairs and runs it full, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes now for Swells. Full count. And the payoff pitch is on the way. He gets a piece of it out to left field. 1 run is going to score. He's going to head on down to first with the RBI single. It was just a good pitch, and he just got a piece of it and dropped it out there in a little Texas leaguer out between the short and left field into the gap. Scored the 7th run of this inning and of this game so far. And that'll bring up Brock, the shortstop. 7-0 your score now. Top of the first. We're way behind. Back to first is not in time. Mason got it, but was unable to get the tag as Swells was up and under it. Just trying to get away, trying to get out of this first half of the inning. They take off to second on the pitch, down in the dirt. Going to pick it up is Fountain, goes back to first, and it's way over the head of Mason Beecham. And Brock is going to take off to second on the throw, on the error. Coming down to the plate is going to be Kaysen. Kaysen comes down, scores on that. The error, going to be an error on the pitcher. So Mick Swells is down there at third now. 8-0. That'll bring up Avery, the pitcher. Oh, they walked him. Another intentional walk. That last time he hit a home run, was a double. So that advances Brock to second, Avery down to third. Brock's at third himself, Avery's at first. Runners at the corners. That brings up Michael Roberts. Michael Roberts, pitch delivery. They go to second is on the steal. Smith doesn't throw, he holds it. And on that, Avery's down at second now. Runners at second and third. Last time at bat, Roberts was hit by a pitch. Pitch on the way down in the dirt. They're coming home for the 8th run and not able to get to it in time. So the wild pitch down in the dirt. And we call timeout. And looks like we're going to make a substitution out there in left field. And it looks like number 8. And I'm going to have to look that up for you to see who that is in just a second. And I'll let you know as soon as I do. Pitch is on the way. Swung on, strike 2 on Michael Roberts. Ahead in the count now, 0-2. Trying to get us out of here. Pitch on the way, delivery tipped back foul towards the concession stand to stay alive, 0-2. And that's going to be Braden McCall, it looks like, out there for Logan Menard. That's out in left field, probably getting Logan. Maybe getting Logan, I don't know if going to get some pitching going on in there, maybe a pitch and change. Pitch is outside for ball 1. I don't have a pitch count, but young Sloan Fountain has thrown a handful of pitches today. And we're only in the top of the first. Scores 9-0. We're behind. 2 away. There's deuces on the board. The 2-2 pitch delivery. Back behind DJ is on the pass ball, and that's going to do 2 things. One is that's going to walk the batter, and 2, the stolen. Should have. I don't think that blue. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That was me. That's the scoreboard's not. That was my fault. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Brock scores. That's 10 runs. Pitch is going to be hit out to the right side, back into the parking lot. Michael Roberts with a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. We're behind 10-0. Pitch on the way inside, but he gets a piece of it, fouls it off the right side. So he stays alive with a full count now. We've been playing almost a half hour, and we're still in the the top of the first inning. Fountain wants to get out of this inning as bad as anybody. Delivery hit down in the dirt. It's going to get a little bouncer. Fountain's going to come off to the right side, and he's going to take it to first himself for the out. But not before they're able, on the one unassisted, not before they're able to score 10 runs. And a lot of errors there in that inning. So, as we head to the bottom of the first inning, your Eagles of Vidalia Heritage trail 10-0. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to VHA Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
Vidalia Heritage Academy is expanding its facilities and programs to meet the ever-growing desire for a Christ-centered academic experience which focuses on a student's total development, academic, social, physical, emotional, relational, and spiritual. Come visit us to learn more about the expanded programs for next year, such as dual college enrollment, fine arts, mission outreach, and our new varsity football team. Come discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
1 John 3:18 says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Have you considered the statement, actions speak louder than words? Maybe you've been in a situation where someone you know treated you bad, apologized, and then kept repeating that over and over, and eventually you've probably had enough. Think about that the next time you have the opportunity to put your actions in place of your words and love people through your actions and your words. Join us this Sunday at Smith Street Baptist Church, 503 Smith Street, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples. The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
Heading to the bottom of the first. And behind the plate, let's update you on this for your defensive chart. Avery's going to be on the mound. Stetson Swells will be behind the plate. And over there at first base is going to be Walker. Second will be Landron. Third will be Michael Roberts. Short will be Brock. Left will be Ortman. Center, Swells. Cason's out in right field. Leading off for the Heritage Eagles in the bottom of the first inning will be Connor Whited. They did that 10 runs on about, looks like 10 runs on about 4 hits. 2 or 3 errors out there, and just unable to do. Had a bunch of stolen bases. They stole and stole and stole. They had the timing down, and they were able to make something happen. And Swells with the throw over to second, and he's done warming up. So is Avery, and White will head to the plate. Ten to nothing in this doubleheader just before 4 o'clock. We started at 3:37, so we've just about played a full half hour and a half an inning. And we've got a mile and a half to go now just to make this an even game again. But we can do it. We're just going to have to do it now. Whited with the first pitch. High, and he chases it upstairs for strike 1. Cade Bell sits on deck. Sloan Fountain is in the hole. Avery gets the sign. The delivery squares to bunt. And it gets past Whited for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes now on Connor. Wind blowing hard in here from right, but it's swirling in left. Pitch on the way, hit up the line. He chalks it. Third baseman Roberts is going to get it, though, and he's going to fire it over to first. It'll go behind Walker. And so, on what should have been a 5-3, he may not have got it anyway. We'll give Connor, the single. Just chalked it right up the line. Roberts got to it, but couldn't hit his target. That'll bring up Cade Bell, left-handed batter, shortstop for Heritage. 10-0 your score. We now got a runner at first. Bell squares to bunt, pulls back. They go to second as Connor takes off, and it's not going to be in time. A good save by the second baseman, Will Landrum. by the shortstop, Brock. Landrum backing him up.
Come on, boys. Everybody moving. I'll back him up.
1 ball, no strikes now on Cade Bell. Connor Whited answers back all that stolen stuff earlier with a stolen base of his own. He's got a mighty big lead. Here's the pitch outside for ball 1. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes now on Cade Bell. Bell steps out, steps back in now. He's ready to go. He was getting his instructions from his coach over on third base. Connor with a lead. Connor takes off on the pitch. He's going to head on down. Throw's going to be to third, and it's not in time as Connor steals third and answers again with another stolen base. The outside pitch puts Cade Bell ahead 3 with a 3-0 count. So we got a runner in scoring position now on third, Connor Whited, who stole twice to get there and had a single to get on. 10-0 your score. Pitch on the way, outside corner, gets behind the catcher. He can't find it. He's all over for it. He still can't find it, and we're going to come on down on the pass ball. Cade Bell, on the wild pitch rather, is going to head on down. He has walked. So good news there on the wild pitch that got past the catcher, Stetson Swells. It wasn't his fault. It hit down, and he thought it was to the right. It was back to the left. It took a nasty hop on him. Connor Whited was able to come on home on that. Now it's 10-1. That brings up Sloan Fountain, number 3 batter for Heritage. We're behind by 9, but we can come back. We want to. Pitch is on the way, hit up towards second. It looks like he may turn 2. The throw to second is going to be not in time. He comes off the base, and they called him out anyway. And Blue just didn't see him come off the base there. So Cade Bell is going to get caught on his way to second. Sloan Fountain is down there at first now. 1 out. Ledger Curl comes to the plate. Sloan Fountain is going to go off. And we're going to put in a courtesy runner. I'll have to get that number for you in just a minute. Looks like Kason Banks going to be courtesy running. And he takes off, heads down to second. There's the throw to second, and it's not in time as Banks is standing up at second with a stolen base. So Banks, the courtesy runner, steals second. 1 ball, no strikes now on Ledger Curl. Pitch on the way, swung on, strike. Missed time. 1-1 the count. One pitch on the way. We take off. Banks starts to. Foul ball off the left side. 1-2 the count on Ledger Curl. 1 out. 10-1 your score. Banks is the courtesy runner. He's at second. He's trying to get off down to third. He wants to cross the plate. He's working his way there so that we can start to narrow this gap a little bit. He takes off on the pitch. High, chased upstairs is Ledger. Throw to third is not in time. It goes off towards left field. And Kaysen will come on down and score on the error. So Ledger Curl the second out. But enough craziness goes on, and we score another one. 2 unearned run for the Heritage Eagles in this first inning. 10-2, but now there's 2 outs. Mason Beecham at the plate. Nobody on now. We've scored 2. First pitch is going to be in there. He's going to chase it, and he can't pull back. He just thought he was going to. Pulled back, but he crossed the plane there, so the man in blue called a strike. 10-2 your score. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball. Change up. Broke off the back table. Changed up, and he caught Mason looking for it for strike 2. Pitch on the way. It's going to break off the backside. Outside. Oh, and the fans from CCA don't like that at all. Mason Beecham liked it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Beecham. 2 outs. We're behind 10-2. We're in the bottom of the first. Pitch on the way. Fastball across the plate. He got him looking for strike 3 and out number 3. So we picked up a couple unearned runs, but it's only an 8-run game as we head into the top of the second inning. Coming up, when we head into the top of the second inning, Ortman, Landron, and Swells, your 5, 6, and 7 batters are on the way. 10-2 your score right now. You're listening to VHA Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
Vidalia Heritage Academy Preschool, we believe there's nothing more precious to a parent than the children God has given them. Our goal is to partner with parents in providing each student with a solid foundation of academic excellence while integrating God's Word and truth into every aspect of their daily activities. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education can make for your preschooler. Call 537-8776 for more information.
Psalm 120 says, I call on the Lord in my distress, and He answers me. How many times can we honestly say we've felt distress? Well, the answer isn't as easy as you might think. For some, they've felt it a lot, and for others, not so much. Regardless, we must remember that the psalmist wasn't any different than we are, in that if we call upon the Lord, He will answer us. We may not always get the answer we want, but that just means we need to conform to His will and not to our own. Join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. at Smith Street Baptist Church, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Head to the bottom of the second inning. I'm sorry, we're heading to the top of the second inning. We've already played 1 full inning. Defensive changes have been made by Heritage. I'll tell you about those real quick. Mason Beecham's going to be pitching. Sloan Fountain's going to come to the plate. Poor Sloan Fountain, he had a lot of pitches to throw in that first inning. Logan Menard's coming out of left field, going to go over to first base. Braden McCaw is going to head out to left field and take her place. And DJ Smith's going to head to the bench for a little while. And when we get into when we start batting again, we'll update you on the batting order. That's going to change slightly as well. 10-2 your score here as we head to the top of the second inning. Due up for the Patriots will be Ortman, Landron, and Swells. Stetson Swells, the catcher. Your 5, 6, and 7 batters. I understand that we have listeners from all across the country today. So I know we got some CCA listeners that couldn't be here at the game today. They're checking us out on the stream. We appreciate it, and thank you for listening. Also, we've got listeners down in Florida checking us out today, and thank you as well. And Beecham gets his last warm-up, and in comes Michael Ortman. Michael Ortman was hit by a pitch his last at bat. And this is one of those innings that we had in the first where your scorebook becomes a mess. You start scratching out numbers and adding extra batters. Beecham gets the sign. He likes it. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball, but it's way outside high for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes now on Ortman. 10-2 your score. Pitch on the way. Chases an outside pitch for a strike and evens the count at 1-1. Pitch on the way. Hit little soft grounder up left side. Ledger Curl's going to field the grounder, get it over to first in time for a bang-bang play. 5-3 in your scorebook, 1 out now. No, they called him safe. I'm sorry. They called him safe. So Ortman's going to get there. And he's down at first now on the single, but if you ask me, there's no way. Will Landrum now comes to the plate. Ortman takes his lead. Meacham looks back over to first. He gets a sign and the delivery. High, breaking ball. It's going to be ball one. They're going to second. Throw to second is in time, and they get him on the tag. He tried to steal, and he was caught stealing at second.
Good job, Sloan.
A great 2-4 for out one. One ball, no strikes. Pitch on the way to Landrum. High. Oh, but it breaks off the backside for a strike. It's up around his visor, but Blue didn't think so, and we'll take it for a 1-1 count. The 1-1 delivery. Pitch breaks off the backside, and he chased it for strike 2. So now Landrum is ahead in the count, 2-1. Ten to 2 your score. 1 out. Counts 1-2, and the delivery's on the way. It's down in the dirt for ball 2. 2-2 now on Landrum. 1 out away. 10 to 2, and we're behind by 8. But it's early. It's the top of the second. And the wind is blowing good. Pitch is on the way. Breaking to the outside too much. Runs it full 3-2. So a full count now on Michael Ortman, on Will Landrum. Pitch, payoff pitch, inside corner, called strike 3. And he got him looking. That'll bring up Stetson Swells now. So we can put one more away. We'll have done it in short order with 3 up, 3 down, much different than the first inning. They changed pitchers on them, and they're not sure what to expect now. They didn't get a chance to see Mason. Here's the delivery. It was a breaking ball. He chased it, took his eye off of it for strike 1. Last time at bat, Swells had a double. He eventually scored. Pitch is on the way, inside around his head, over his head for ball 1, and runs it 1-1 now. So 1-1 the count. Delivery. Swung on, hit up towards the shortstop. It's going to get out past short, and it's going to get on out into left field. We're not going to be able to get it as it gets almost past us. Throw's going to come in, though, and we'll hold it to 1. So it could have been a little bit worse than that, as it made it all the way out there. Probably about 10 feet, 15 feet off of what we would call the warning track, if there were one out there. So they got a runner at first now on the single. That'll bring up Kaysen, number 8 batter. There was an intentional walk last time he was at the plate. Pitch is on the way. High, ball 1. Ten to 2 your score. We're behind by 8 early in this game. Mason steps off the rubber. And Swells tags back up.
Let's go forward, let's go.
Kaysen steps back out of the box. Now he steps back in. Mason looks back over to first as Swells gets the lead. Signal comes down to Mason. Mason likes what he's got. Goes back to first, and he's not in time, but he was close. It was a good attempt by Mason to Menard, just a little shy of getting the out. I think it might have caught Swells off guard. He'll take his lead now, but not quite as of a lead as he had earlier. Pitch is going to be hit high. It's going to get just to the foul line, and who's there but Mr. Pitcher himself, and the one unassisted for out number 3. And it's 4 batters, and they're able to get on with 1, so no runs, 1 hit, no errors, left 1 stranded. Your score 10 to 2 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. We're behind 10 to 2. You're listening to Vidalia Heritage Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
Apostle Paul said in Romans 8:38 and 39 that he was convinced that God is so loving and powerful that nothing could separate a Christian from the love of God found in Christ Jesus our Lord. That should take the pressure off of being a perfect Christian, since there's no such thing. Now, that doesn't mean we should stop trying to live a life that honors God. It means we should live a life that honors God because of His greatness and our love for Him, and not our fear. Find out more by visiting us at Smith Street Baptist Church.
From preschool to high school, Vidalia Heritage Academy focuses on spending quality time with each student to equip them spiritually, intellectually, and physically. And in every setting, the classrooms, the hallways, the playground, or the ball field, we reinforce the same values and character qualities you teach at your home, helping your children learn to love God and love each other. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
Well, welcome back, everybody, as we head into the bottom of the second inning. 2 up for the Eagles will be Logan Menard, Rhett Sykes, and Braden McCall, your 6, 7, and 8 batters. We're behind 10-2. Remember, we're only playing 5 innings because this is a doubleheader. So we don't have nearly as much time as we usually do. And we're going to have to make sure that we get back. We've got 8 runs just to tie this thing up. They took off in the first inning, and they were able to steal a lot. They were able to turn it into a 10-run game. We're able to come back and answer back with a couple runs, and then we're able to hold them in the last inning, or in this inning, the first half of this inning, we're able to hold them to 4 batters and only 1 hit. So 10-2 now as we head to the bottom of the second, a chance for us to come back through the lineup after these 4 batters, and hopefully we can bat around a little bit. We need some runs on the board. Avery on the mound getting his last couple warm-up pitches. And it looks like this might be it. Drops back out of the catcher's glove, so he'll get him shot, throw it to second eventually, and there it goes. Stetson swells behind the plate, Avery at the mound. Logan Menard comes onto the plate. So a chance to come back. And we need to do it in this inning. We don't have enough innings to play with. We can't spread it out across 4, because we don't have 4 to go. Pitch on the way, squares to bunt. She didn't pull back, but it got away from her for strike 1. One and 0 the count now on Menard. 0-1. Pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball on the inside corner. She watched it go by for strike 2. It was a good pitch. She thought it was going to be too close to the inside, but it wasn't. It's right where Avery wanted it. So behind now 0-2 in the count. The 0-2 delivery to Menard. Fastball low, gets down. She hits it into the dirt, and it bounces back up, so she'll stay alive. A good cut at that one, too. She got behind there, and she swung hard on it. Just a little behind. Had those hands in front of her. But she'll stay alive with the 0-2 delivery. High inside corner breaking ball. It was good pitch. It started out high. It got me. I would have watched it go by, too. It came in, and then it broke off, and then dropped at the end. So it was a good pitch by the Patriot pitcher. So 1 out. That'll bring up Rhett Sykes, the DH for Clay Morris, the right fielder. Pitch to Sykes on the way. Fastball corner. He watched it go by for strike. No balls, 1 strike now on Sykes. 10-2 your score. We're in the bottom of the second inning. 1 out. Pitch on the way outside for ball 1 and runs it even 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Delivery to Sykes on the way. Down in the dirt, he chased it. It's going to come up and over our head and actually bounce over the fence. Just took a nasty bounce. So he chased it down there for strike 2. Behind the count 1-2 now. Sykes, there's 1 out on the board. We're still behind 10-2. We got nobody on. Avery on the mound gets the sign. Stetson swells, standing up awfully high. Looks like he's going to go high here. Fastball across the plate, and he gets him for a called strike, and that's 2 called strikes, or 2 strikeouts, 2 backwards Ks anyway. That'll bring up Braden McCall. Here's a delivery to McCall. Started high and came back down. Braden started to swing and then second-guessed himself, but to tell you the truth, had he swung at that, he'd have had to go way upstairs to get it because of his height and the way it does. It was a good pitch, though. It's a good pitch and a good call by Avery. By Blue. Pitch on the way. Same thing, and we swing on it. Braden is going to take a hit on the Swells. It's going to hit him in the helmet. And McCall is going to step out and give Swells a time to take a little walk here and shake it off. Blue's good. Gives him the okay, so Swells looks like he's going to be fine. McCall now behind in the count 0-2. 2 outs. He's looking to get on here. 10-2 your score. We're behind. Pitch on the way. Swung on. He's chased it down. And it's another good breaking ball, and he got him swinging, but at least he made a good attempt and a good cut at it. So 3 up, 3 down for us. And on no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on, we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Your score, CCA 10, VHA 2. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to Heritage Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
That the Apostle Paul said in Romans 8:38 and 39 that he was convinced that God is so loving and powerful that nothing could separate a Christian from the love of God found in Christ Jesus our Lord. That should take the pressure off of being a perfect Christian, since there's no such thing. Now, that doesn't mean we should stop trying to live a life that honors God. It means we should live a life that honors God because of His greatness and our love for Him, and not our fear. Find out more by visiting us at Smith Street Baptist Church.
From preschool to high school, Vidalia Heritage Academy focuses on spending quality time with each student to equip them spiritually, intellectually, and physically. And in every setting, the classrooms, the hallways, the playground, or the ball field, we reinforce the same values and character qualities you teach at your home, helping your children learn to love God and love each other. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
Welcome back, everybody. Heading to the top of the 3rd inning. Behind 10-2. Leading off for the Patriots is going to be the number 9, 1 and 2 batters, Walker, Swells, and Brock. 10-2 your score. We only got 5 innings in the first game. Remember that. It is a doubleheader. On the mound, Beecham. He was able to get us out in 4 batters last time, only gave up 1 hit in the last. Fountain behind the mound, behind the plate rather. Logan Menard over there at first came out of left field. Braden McCall went over to left field back in the last inning as they made some changes coming into the top of the 2nd. And the final warm-up pitch. And we're about ready to get this inning underway. Only a couple innings left, so we're at the halfway point of game number 1. At the plate, Walker struck out looking last time back in the 1st. Pitch to Walker on the way. Inside corner, no sir, too low for ball 1. So no ball, 1 ball, no strikes. On Walker, pitch delivery on the way. Swung on behind it for strike 1 and runs it 1-1 again. Mick Swells warming up over in the on-deck circle. 1-1 delivery, high, up around the chin. 2-1 now. 10-2 your score, top of the 3rd inning. We're behind by 8. We got miles and miles to go, and we're running out of daylight. The delivery. Down across the plate, but it's outside, he said, for ball 3 rather. So 3 balls, 1 strike on Walker. .3-1 delivery, fastball. He watches it go by. He takes his strike and runs it full. I said fastball. Check that little breaking ball. course, he expected him to swing at anything close, but he didn't like that. He burned one, ran it full. 3-2 the count. Payoff pitch. Across the plate, but low, and he tells us it's low, and if that's what he says, so Walker will head on down to first with the base on balls. That'll bring up number 1 batter for the Patriots, Mick Swells. Flied out back in the first. Got himself a single, and it was an RBI single in his second at bat in the first. Remember, he got to bat twice in the first inning. So this is the third time he has come to the plate. Squares to bunt, pulls back a little bit, misses it for strike 1. Swells was just chasing it out there, trying to put the bat out there over the plate. A little too much. Mason looks like he's going to go back to first, but comes off the mound, but holds on to the ball. No balls, 1 strike on Mick Swells. Back first and not in time. Logan comes up and out of her shoes, and she had an excellent play to stop that ball from going back over the fence and giving up an advanced runner on an error. So good job by Logan Menard, who was up and climbed a ladder to get that one. Pitch on the way, squares to bunt. He gets a piece of it. Mason's going to pick it up off the bunt attempt, and he's going to get over there to first as young Mick Swells takes a little bit of a spill going across first on the sack bunt. So Walker's down at second on the sack, and Brock comes to the plate. 10-2, but now we've got 1 away. Last time up, he scored both times in the first. He reached on a single in the first at-bat earlier today. Made his way all the way around and did it again at his second at-bat. Throw back to second is not in time. That's because Mason never threw it. He started to and he stopped, but Brock was pretty close, so he didn't have far to go to get back to second. Beecham back on the mound, gets the sign, the delivery. Swung on, and this one's hard, hit out to left field. It's got a mile to go. It'll be out towards the corner, and that means that rounding second and coming around third is going to be Walker, who's going to score. He's on his way down to third, and he's going to be in there, and he's not in time, and he gets the tag at third. So the play is in time on what should have been a triple for Brock. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. We may have gotten a gift there. He probably was safe at third, and Blue gave it to us. We'll take it. But they're able to put 1 on the board, 11-2, and they intentionally send Avery down to first. Avery, last time up.
Come on, Michael. Bring him in, son. You can do it.
Last time he was at the plate, that we intentionally walked him. Before that, he hit a 2 RBI home run. We didn't want to chance him doing it again and breaking us a little bit. I think it's more of a morale issue for us than anything. So he's down at first. Michael Roberts comes to the plate. 2 outs now, 11-2, your score, top of the third. Beecham with the delivery. Outside corner, it's going to go for ball 1.
Watch your close, buddy. You can do this.
We've been playing almost an hour now in the top of the third inning. It's been a long game so far. It's been a hard game so far. It's tough staring down a 10-0 deficit. We pull it back up. They take off the second on the pitch that's down in the dirt, and we can't get to it in time. So Avery's going to steal second on the wild pitch. And a ball recorded for Roberts. Puts him ahead in the count 2-0. 2 outs. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner at second. Pitch is on the way. Swung on, hit up towards first base. Menard can't get to it. It's going to go out into right field as Brock is going to come around third, and he's going to get easily in at home. And it was a good attempt. Excuse me, that's Avery who scores. Forgive me. So Michael Roberts with the RBI single out to right field. Little line drive. Can't give Can't give an error to Menard. She just couldn't get to it in time. She dove and she had a good attempt to try, but she couldn't do much more than that. So it's batter gets the credit for it, and that brings up Michael Ortman. Pitch on the way, down in the dirt, chases it downstairs for strike one. Ortman now behind, but the Patriots ahead. 12-2 your score. It's now a 10-run game again for the Eagles. We've got miles again to go. But the good news is there's 2 outs. Pitch, delivery. Blue calls it outside for ball 1. 1-1 the count now. Roberts gets his lead off of first. Meacham gets his sign. The 1-1 delivery is on the way. It's a breaking ball up high, and he chased it upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. And we are 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. And the 1-2 swung on, strike 3, and he gets him on the strikeout. So we're able to get out of that inning, but not before they are able to score. And they do. They get 2 runs, and looks like only one of those was earned. So 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Heritage behind CCA 12-2. You're listening to VHA Baseball on the VH Sports Network.
At Vidalia Heritage Academy Preschool, we believe there's nothing more precious to a parent than the children God has given them. Our goal is to partner with parents in providing each student with a solid foundation of academic excellence while integrating God's Word and truth into every aspect of their daily activities. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education can make for your preschooler. Call 537-8776 for more information.
Psalm 120 says, I call on the Lord in my distress, and He answers me. How many times can we honestly say we've felt distress? Well, the answer isn't as easy as you might think. For some, they've felt it a lot, and for others, not so much. Regardless, we must remember that the psalmist wasn't any different than we are, in that if we call upon the Lord, He will answer us. We may not always get the answer we want, but that just means we need to conform to His will and not to our own. Join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. at Smith Street Baptist Church, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
So we're going to head back to the bottom of the 3rd inning, leading off for the VHA Eagles will be Tate Sykes. And then we're back to the top for Connor Whited and Cade Bell, your 9-1-2 batters. Tate has not had a shot at coming to the plate today. This will be his first at-bat, or his first plate appearance anyway. 12-2 your score. They pulled it back to 10 runs, and we're in the bottom of the 3rd. And remember, we're only playing 5 innings because of the doubleheader. We've got another game against these guys coming up. On the mound. On the mound is Avery. Stetson Swells just took a warm-up pitch to the mask, and it got a nice bounce off of that. And these fences are not high at this field. There's no netting, so a ball is easily going to take a nasty bounce and fly over, and it did just that. And you might have heard it land in the visitors' stands. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Nobody was hit, period, except for Stetson, and he seems to be okay because of his equipment. So Tate Sykes, lefty, steps into the box to face the right-handed pitcher. Delivery, squares to bunt, gets it a piece of it, but foul off to the left side for strike number 1. Just trying to get on. We're 10 runs down, and the sun is starting to set on this ball game if we don't get out of this inning putting some more runs on the board. Pitch on the way, delivery swung on, strike 2. It was a good cut, just behind in his swing. So no balls and 2 strikes now. Ahead in the count is the pitcher, Avery. The 0-2 delivery on the way. Fastball outside corner, and he swung on and struck it. Out. And And Tate Sykes goes down swinging. Back to the top of the order now with one away. Connor Whited. He reached on a single last time, able to get all the way around back in the first inning for the first run of the ball game. We only have two, though. First run of our side. 12-2 your score. One out, nobody on. CCA with the lead. Pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball. It doesn't get down in time. It does curve down, but it doesn't get down enough. And the CCA fans didn't like that. But we'll take it. I think it was a good call. I'm not biased. Well, I am, but still think it was a good call. The pitch on the way, you heard it tip foul back over towards the concession stand. Runs at 1-1 now for the young man, Connor Whited. Connor playing second base for us today. 1-1 the count. The pitch squares to bunt, pulls back, but it's called strike. Thought it wasn't going to break, and it did. So now Connor behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 12-2 your score. We're behind by 10 in the bottom of the third inning. Pitch swung on, got a piece of it. Stay alive as it goes out of play off the right side. Takes its roll over by the swing set. And one of the ladies that was in line at the concession stand, one of the young ladies, will bring it over and get us back to baseball. One ball, 2 strikes on Whited. Avery with the 1-2 delivery. High over his head. And Whited had to come out of his shoes and almost stumbled backwards out of the box. He did stumble backwards out of the box. On a hard thrown ball, I think maybe Avery was just trying to bring the heat and he lost control of it. Would have smarted if it hit him. So Whited with an even count, 2-2. And the delivery. It's in there and he swings at it and gets a piece of it, but he drives it off to the right side. Out behind our dugout, he'll stay alive again. 5-6 pitches now. He's kept himself in the game with a couple fouled balls. 12-2 is your score. CCA with the 10-run lead on us in the third inning. Pitch on the way. Swung on. Got a piece of it. Gets past the pitcher. It's going to get out there to second, and he gets past second. And it is out in center. Has Whited on what should have been either a 1 or a 4, on a 1-3 or a 4-3. Turns out to be an error twice. So Connor with the line drive reaches on 2 errors.
Ready, boys?
1 on the pitcher, 1 on second baseman. Pitch swung on, hit high, real high, but it's going to drop shallow. And throw to second is not in. Oh no! And he calls him out at second. Oh wow! So the Heritage Eagles get one taken from them by the guy out there calling the shots. Ball was hit straight up in the air. That was Cade Bell. It dropped. And it dropped in there just around the shortstop. He was unable to catch it.
Everybody moving.
That pushed Whited on down to second, but he was called out at second on a questionable judgment call. But hey, that's why he's out there and I'm here. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball inside corner for a called strike on Sloan Fountain.
Get ready, boys.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. We got a runner at first. 12-2 your score. Pitch on the way. He starts to, but he pulls back. And they're going to check to see if he got it to throw to second. And that ball was down, that ball was low, and it was on the inside. And I think he says that Sloan broke the plane. So no balls, 2 strikes now on Fountain. But Cade Bell's able to steal second. Pitch on the way as Bell takes off to third. It's going to be hit right up to the short, and it's going to get to him. Shortstop's going to pick it up, and Cade's going to come. The play at the plate is bad. It's overthrown. He will score, and down the second is Sloan Fountain. And just like that, another run scores, and we're back to a 9-run game with Cade Bell coming around and stealing home and beating the play at the plate. Sloan Fountain able to get there on the single and then steals second. So now, 12-3 your score. And CCA's pitching coach heads on out to the mound to talk to his players, talk to his battery about something he's seeing going on as Ledger Curl makes his way to the plate.
Come on, boys. Come on, right here.
Last time he was at bat, Curl struck out. Chance to redeem himself here as he steps in. Now we got a runner at second. That runner at second is Sloan Fountain. Pitch on the way. Excuse me, that's not Fountain. It's a courtesy runner, and that's Banks, the courtesy runner for Fountain, who steals again, and he's down there at third. So Banks with the stolen base. No balls, one strike now on Ledger. The 0-1 delivery on the way. Swung. Nope, he checked his swing, and they say he went. And that's twice now he said that these guys are swinging through, and I'm not really sure. And he went down the line and blew down the line, said he's safe, so we'll take it. Ball 1. So a 1-1 on Curl. Good job going down the line to the line judge. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Swung on, got a piece of it, fouled back. So Curl got a piece of it, but he still fouled it back. So 2 strikes now on Ledger. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. 12-3 your score. Banks at third. Pitch on the way. High for ball 1. 2 rather. Then he runs it 2-2. Banks down there at third wants to score, but there's 2 outs. Ledger's got to put this ball in play.
Go, Tim.
Deuces on the board. 2-2. Here we go. Hit. Up toward the shortstop. Banks is going to get home. The throw to first is over the head, and Ledger is going to get in there on the bad throw to first. A good job putting the ball in play and let the defense mess up, and that's what he did. And he's down there at first now on the error. On the third baseman who threw it over the head. That's Roberts, threw it over Walker's head. We're able to score Case and Banks, and that'll bring up Mason Beecham. 12-4 your score now. Pitch on the way. Ledger Curl with a big lead at first. Breaking ball, chases it down for a strike. Coach Sorrow telling Mason to just step out, clear his head, come back in and be prepared to put this ball in play as well. There's 2 outs. Throw to first to get Ledger, but not in time. Avery just wanting to keep him still and not let him take off. Ledger had a mighty big lead a little while ago, and I'm sure that the pitcher didn't like that. No balls, 1 strike on Beecham. Ledger takes off. Pitch on the way. It's high. He'll get called to ball. At least I think he did. He may have called that a strike, but I think the scoreboard gave him a ball, and so we're going to give him 1 over here at the scoreboard. Meanwhile, Ledger Curl standing up, steals second. So Mason Beecham steps out of the box. Coaches from CCA hollering commands to their team. Defense needs to cover second. That's what he was saying. Ledger got a big lead. Pitch on the way. Fastball. And it gets past Beecham for the strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mason. 2 outs. 12-4 your score. We're trying to rally back, but we've got a long way to go. We've got a lot of rallying to do. Pitch. Ledger takes off. It's hit hard out to left field. It's going to get down towards the corner. Curl's going to come around third, and he's going to be all the way home. And Mason's going to stay down there at first with an RBI single. And a good shot to stay in this game by Mason Beecham. So Ledger Curl crosses home. 3-run score in this inning. 12-5 your score. Brings up Logan Menard. Struck out looking back in the second inning. Logan, also like Ledger, looking for a shot to make this, looking for a shot to make up for the last time. The delivery, it's going to get inside and almost hit her, taking off and down to second is going to be Kason Banks, the courtesy runner. They put Banks back in, put Banks in for Ledger. Banks is a fast runner. Excuse me, put Banks in for Beecham. Beecham is the pitcher, so we can do that. Nice stuff. Pitch on the way, swung on. Strike on Logan. And that runs it 1-1. Now Banks with a lead off a second. He just came around a little while ago, and he's going to try to do it again. Pitch on the way to Logan Menard. It's across the plate, goes back behind on the passed ball. And down to third is Speed Demon Banks. Banks now 90 feet away from making this a 6-run game. Menard ahead in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. The delivery, Banks starts to take off. Pitch on the inside corner. It's a breaking ball right about where he's called it all day. And Logan got her looking earlier on that same pitch. It's a good pitch. It comes inside and then curves just enough to catch the corner. So Deuce is on the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch hit high, but it's popped foul. It's going to be in play, but they're not going to be able to get to it. It was right up the third base line, off out just to the left of the foul line. Stetson Swells, the catcher, Avery, the pitcher, and Roberts, the third baseman, couldn't get to it. It was right in a perfect spot that if you're going to hit it like that, and you're going to pop it up, put it where no one can get it. Stay alive, and she battles back to stay in this one more pitch. Right now it's a 7-run game. Pitch on the way. Swung on, strike 3. It gets down, though. She's going to take off to first. He doesn't know what to do. The catcher doesn't understand the rule, and she's safe at first on the dropped ball. So she strikes out, but she still gets down there at first. You got to put the K down there, but then you can get her on first with the dropped ball. She's a good job there by Logan Menard for recognizing the play and knowing to take off. So on the dropped ball, he was wanting to stop. The catcher was wanting to stop Kason Banks from coming home, and he was unsure what to do. And that'll bring up Rhett Sykes. 2 outs. We got runners at the corners now. We got a gift there, and we'll take the gift every time you give it to us. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball. Logan Menard takes off, and she's not going to go anywhere. The breaking ball was too low. So she does go somewhere. She gets on down to second, standing up. They don't even attempt to throw her out. And, of course not. If they do, Kason Banks takes off and scores. So now runners second and third. Pitch on the way. Banks starts to take off. It hits Banks and comes back and hits the catcher. So it was a good cut on it by Rhett Sykes, but a foul ball. Otherwise, Kason would have been home. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the DH. Struck out looking last time. Come back out with a different attitude this time. He's swinging at it more. Pitch, swung on it, tipped it foul back towards the concession stand. He's behind in the count, but he got a piece of it again. If he gets a piece of that and drops it in the gap somewhere, and I mean there's space to drop it out there in the right field, there's space to drop it in left field. There's a lot of space in left center. Line drive out to left center, and we'll easily score 2 more runs. Pitch on the way, Banks comes down the line, outside, ball. It was on the outside. It was a good call by the guy behind the plate, and he'll run it 2-2. Deuce is on the board again. Last time Deuces were on the board, we struck out, but we ran down on the drop ball and made it to first. That was Logan Menard. She's now at second. Pitcher steps off the mound, so everybody tags up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 2-2 on the way. High ball, hits him in the head. Coming on down the line is going to be Kason Banks on the ball. That was way high and hit his catcher in the face on the wild pitch. We score another run. My book is a mess. Can I just tell you it is a mess? You couldn't make sense of this book if you tried now, and we're down by 6. And we are battling back little by little. Boy, we got a long way still to go, but can you imagine if we battle back? Full count now. Avery with the full count, and he's going to hit him, and just like that, he pops him on the backside, and Rhett will head down to first on the hit by pitch, and that'll bring up Braden McCall. Runners at the corners now, 12-6 your score, bottom of the third inning. We're the home team. We're the home team in both games, and we've got a doubleheader. Logan Menard gets her lead off of third as Braden McCaw steps into the box. Last time he was up, he struck out. Pitch on the way. Fastball, it's outside low, he calls it low. And we take off on the ball down to second. And stealing second like that is Rhett Sykes. So 1 ball and no strikes on McCaw. Sykes is now 180 feet away. Menard is 90. And we're down by 6 with 2 outs, and we've scored a couple runs with these 2 outs. Let's keep going. Pitch on the way. Outside, gets behind him. We're taking off. Menard's going to be here to play at the plate, and she's safe under the tag. They're unable to get to it in time. And Menard steals on the wild pitch. Really the pass ball. Let's see here. Well, gave it to him as a ball, so we'll give it to the pitcher. And Menard scores our 7th run. 5-run game now. CCA starting to have a problem back there with the man in blue. But that was a good call. She was under the tag. It was a good attempt by the battery to stop it, but they were unable to do so. 2 balls, no strikes on Braden. Pitch to McCall. Across the plate. It's low, and they call it ball 3. Oh, CCA didn't like that at all. So now, Rhett Sykes sits down at third. He's 90 feet away from scoring our 8th run of this game. But we're still behind by 5, 12-7 your score. 3 balls, no strikes. Pitch on the way, and it's going to be on the outside corner according to Blue. And it was a makeup call for him. So 3 balls and 1 strike now on Braden McCall. 3-1, pitch on the way. 2 balls. And now the CCA fans are, somebody needs to tell, I'll be quiet. CCA fans giving me a hard time. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Braden McCall. And the payoff pitch is on the way, struck out, swinging. Good attempt, but he's just behind in it. We're able to get all the way through the order, and we're able to score plenty of runs. So as we head to the top of the 4th inning, your score right now, CCA 12, VHA 7. You're listening to VHA Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
The Apostle Paul said in Romans 8:38 and 39 that he was convinced that God is so loving and powerful that nothing could separate a Christian from the love of God found in Christ Jesus our Lord. That should take the pressure off of being a perfect Christian, since there's no such thing. Now, that doesn't mean we should stop trying to live a life that honors God. It means we should live a life that honors God because of His greatness and our love for Him, and not our fear. Find out more by visiting us at Smith Street Baptist Church.
From preschool to high school, Vidalia Heritage Academy focuses on spending quality time with each student to equip them spiritually, intellectually, and physically. And in every setting, the classrooms, the hallways, the playground, or the ball field, we reinforce the same values and character qualities you teach at your home, helping your children learn to love God and love each other. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
And we are back. 12-7 your score. And we are behind, but we had a pretty good inning to come back with a few runs. Top of the 4th inning, CCA is going to come to the plate, leading off for the CCA Patriots is going to be Will Landrum, followed by Stetson Swells and then Kaysen. That'll be your 6, 7, and 8 batters. Last time at bat, Landrum struck out looking. And the refs or umps are talking on the sideline as Mason Beecham gets his run, or gets his warm-up pitches in, rather. We were able to score 5 runs in that last inning to pull it to a 5-run game, 12-7 now. But remember, we're only playing 5. This is a doubleheader today, so we've got another game against these guys coming up in just a little bit. Landrum now at the plate. Swells on deck. Kaysen in the hole. Beecham on the mound. Behind the plate, Sloan Fountain. 12-7, the score. Pitch on the way. It's going to be down low and inside for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. Crowd dies down a little bit. Pitch on the way. Same place for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. Pitch on the way, down low for ball 3. Behind in the count now, 3-0 on Will Landrum. He'll probably burn one here. And out to the mound is going to be Coach Sorrow. Talk to Mason Beecham. Second game coming up. First pitch will be about 30 minutes after this end of this game. We will break our stream and then come back shortly after that. About 20 minutes after we finish, we'll come back with the broadcast, about 10 minutes before the second game. Got a couple more innings this one. It's 4th, and we're playing 5, but it's a good thing we're the home team right now. 3 balls, no strikes. Pitch is going to be outside for ball 4, and he walks him. 4 straight balls. That'll bring up Stetson Swells. Last time at bat, Stetson singled out to left center. Twelve to 7 your score. They got a runner on first now. No outs. Top of the 4th inning. Back to first, not in time. A lot of noise coming out of the CCA dugout for their teammates, encouraging their batter and their runner. Pitch on the way to Swells. They take off. Nope, but it's hit up towards shortstop. Cade Bell's going to get it, and he goes to first, and it gets behind the ball out to the fence and gets past Logan, and on down to third is going to be Will Landrum. So on the error, Landrum takes off down to third. He made it to second on the single by Stetson Swells. Runners at the corners now brings up Kaysen, the number 8 batter. Last time at bat, he hit it to the pitcher, Mason, who ran it on over there and got the one unassisted. Pitch down dirt outside for ball 1. 12 to 7 your score, but they got runners at the corners now. One of them 90 feet away and no outs. We don't need to let any of them cross the plate anymore. We've got to get out of this inning, come back and do it in the bottom of the 4th. We got 2 chances left. Pitch is on the way. They go to second. Throw to second is not in time. It's off to the side. It goes out to second, out the middle field, out to center field, and they're going to come on down in the middle of the play. It's just an off throw thrown off to the left side of second. So they get to score another run, and it's just what I said didn't need to happen. And it happens. Stetson Swells, meanwhile, took off to second on all that commotion. Probably should have just held on to it. Kaysen's now got 2 balls, no strikes. And they have picked up another run, 13-7, turned it into a 6-run ball game again. Pitch on the way, hit foul back towards us and off the playground over there where the cars are. 2 balls, 1 strike on Casey. (13-7) your score. Runner at second. No outs. They go back to second, but not in time. CCA fans not happy, saying that maybe we should have got called a balk on that. Maybe we should have. It was a forward momentum, forward progress was made, but we get it. The gift, pitch on the way. High ball breaking outside. It's a little high and a little far to the outside. 3-1 now the count.
Make it hurt, baby.
13-7 your score. Top of the fourth. They got a runner at second. Mason with the delivery. Inside, over the head. Way inside for ball 4, and Kaysen will head on down to first base. Walker comes to the plate. Last at bat. He was walked. He managed to take that, and they brought him all the way around, and he scored. For that, back in the first, he struck out looking. So now here we are in the top of the fourth inning. No outs. They got runners first and second. And Walker comes to the plate. Walker looks like the kind of guy that if he got a piece of it hard, he might put it out there. Squares the bunt, pulls back. It didn't pull back in time, and it got past him anyway for the called strike. 13-7, top of the fourth inning. No outs. The 0-1 delivery from Beecham to Walker is on the way. And he calls it outside for ball 1. 1-1 the count now. (13-7). But we're running out of time. Remember, we only play 5 innings. Squares the bunt. Gets past him on the bunt attempt for strike 2. So he's behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. But we only get to play 5 because of the doubleheader. And we have got to come back. We got to put them away and come back. We're running out of time to do it. Both runners get their lead off of first and second. Mason takes a look back to second. Now the delivery down in the dirt. It's going to get down there, and Salome Fountain throwing his body in front of it stops the runners from advancing on the good job of playing and backing up his pitcher down there at the plate. 2-2 the count now on Walker. Runners taking their leads off of first and second. Pitch on the way. Across the plate for strike 3 and a called strike. And out number 1, and we'll head to the top of the order. Mick Swells comes to the plate. Following him, Brock, and then Avery if they can get that far. We got 1 away now. Runners at first and second. 13-7 your score. We're behind. We need to get out of this and get some runs. Mason delivery high over his head for ball 1. Mick had to drop down and out of it. So 1 ball, no strike, 1 out on Swells. Back to second. Beecham looks. Pitch on the way. Squares the bunt, and he swings at it with a bunt, little push. For strike 1. 1-1 the count now on Swells. 1 out. Remember, they got runners at first and second. 13-7 your score. But we're behind. Uh-oh, fans giving the coach a hard time. Pitch on the way. This ball's hit high up. It's back towards the fence. Sloan Fountain's under it with the catch, and he makes the out. And they tag up, and Swells is down there at third now. That's Stetson Swells is at third. He was able to tag and get down there to third. So runners at the corners, but 2 outs now. Fans on the other side, disrespectful to us, disrespectful to coach too. So our fans, what we would expect. 13-7 your score. 2 outs now. Runners at the corners. Pitch on the way. They take off the second. We're going to hold on to it. A smart thinking there by Sloan Fountain as Kaysen gets on down on the stolen base. Pitch was a ball. Sloan Fountain playing smart there. Holds on to it. Eats it. Now they got runners in scoring position. Second and third. But we've got 2 outs. 1 ball, no strikes with the pitch. Delivery. Swung on, hit up towards second. We're going to pick it up off the grounder, throw to first in time. She drops it and picks it up, and she gets it. She had it. She dropped it, and then she grabbed it before he was able to touch the bag, but the guy in blue didn't see it. And so we had it on a botched play that we turned around. And coach is going to go out and he's going to talk to his pitcher, or is he going to talk to Blue? He's going to talk to Blue about that. Good thing that he does. And so I don't know if he was talking about that or not. They're going to go down there and talk about it, and they need to. He was out. And what happened again is she dropped the ball, and then she grabbed it. She's laying on the ground. Her foot's on the bag, and she's able to do it. So ball dropped, but she picked it back up. She picked it back up. They call safe. So Stetson Swells is going to get to score on that. Kaysen is going to be down there. And we intentionally walked Brock. So Brock's down there at first. Or is that Avery? We intentionally walked Avery, excuse me. So Brock's at second, Avery's at first, and Roberts comes to the plate.
Come on, Michael. Let's go.
15-7, pitch on the way, plunks him, and Michael Roberts gets hit by a pitch. He'll take his base, and the bases now are loaded up on that hit by a pitch. 15-7, your score. And I tell you, I have never heard the mouths like I have today. 15-7, Coach Sarra is going to come out and talk to Mason. Going to call time. Looks like we're going to make a pitch and change, and we are. So Mason's going to come out. We're going to make a pitch and change. We'll tell you who that is in just a minute. You're listening to VHA Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
The Apostle Paul said in Romans 8:38 and 39 that he was convinced that God is so loving and powerful that nothing could separate a Christian from the love of God found in Christ Jesus our Lord. That should take the pressure off of being a perfect Christian, since there's no such thing. Now, that doesn't mean we should stop trying to live a life that honors God. It means we should live a life that honors God because of His greatness and our love for Him, and not our fear. Find out more by visiting us at Smith Street Baptist Church.
From preschool to high school, Vidalia Heritage Academy focuses on spending quality time with each student to equip them spiritually, intellectually, and physically. And in every setting, the classrooms, the hallways, the playground, or the ball field, we reinforce the same values and character qualities you teach at your home, helping your children learn to love God and love each other. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
All right, so a pitching change as Mason Beecham comes out. And going to the mound is going to be Cade Bell. Beecham will go over to first. And looks like Logan Menard is going to go to short. 2 outs here as we sit in this pitching change situation.
I need a big one out of you right here, bro. You got it in. You got it in. You got it in.
15-7 your score. Two outs. Coming to the plate is going to be Michael Ortman. Remember, we got a second game today. The doubleheader continues 30 minutes after the end of this game. Right now, 15-7, CCA is up. Top of the 4th inning. Sun has come out over left field, and it's bright now. It's been behind the clouds most of the game, and the wind's been cooling things off, but the sun is out.
Jake,
15-7, your score. And this is pitch on the way. It's going to, almost got a piece of him. And he turned back away from it, but he got out for ball 1. They're calling him Jake. I'm not sure if this is another kid playing. It sounds like it is. I've got Michael Ortman. They've got Jake, so we'll say number 8. Pitch on the way to the young man. It's going to be inside for ball 2. And I can tell that everybody's calling him Jake, so if you're listening from CCA and you know Jake, then he's at the plate now, and I believe he's in there for Ortman. Get a little experience, get a little time to play. Pitch on the way, gets a piece of it, but it's off to the right side and up against the fence. It's over the fence, but not the way he wanted it, so he'll stay alive. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Good cut. And by the way, if he gets on, they've batted around in this inning. 2 balls, 1 strike, but there's 2 outs. They got runners all over the place. Bases are loaded. The 2-1 delivery from Cade Bell. Got a piece of it, he'll stay alive. So 2-2 your count, and deuces across the board with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Jake at the plate, bases loaded, 2 outs, pitch on the way, swung on, got a piece of it again, but off to the right side to the CCA dugout, and he'll stay alive again. So he's battling to stay in this thing. And he's good effort by the young batter. The 2-2 again, inside corner. No, sir, it's on the inside. But it's not called a ball, it's called a strike. I mean, it's called a ball, rather. And it's a full count now on Jake. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Payoff pitch from Cade Bell. A pitch on the way, inside corner, strike, and he's out, and he gets him. And the CCA fans don't like that. He got him looking. And it was really the same pitch that he had a minute ago. So there you go. They batted all the way around, but we stopped them from going any further. 15-7 CCA leads VHA as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. You're listening to Vidalia Heritage Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
Vidalia Heritage Academy is expanding its facilities and programs to meet the ever-growing desire for a Christ-centered academic experience which focuses on a student's total development, academic, social, physical, emotional, relational, and spiritual. Come visit us to learn more about the expanded programs for next year, such as dual college enrollment, fine arts, mission outreach, and our new varsity football team. Come discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
1 John 3:18 says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Have you considered the statement, actions speak louder than words? Maybe you've been in a situation where someone you know treated you bad, apologized, and then kept repeating that over and over, and eventually you've probably had enough. Think about that the next time you have the opportunity to put your actions in place of your words and love people through your actions and your words. Join us this Sunday at Smith Street Baptist Church, 503 Smith Street, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
Now, burn it down.
Welcome back, everybody. Vidalia Heritage Baseball continues in game number 1. We've been playing for a couple hours now, hour and a half, hour and 45. And we come into the bottom of the 4th inning. And I may, let's see here. So it looks like leading off for us is going to be number 5, Tate Sykes. So Tate Sykes, the number 9 batter, Connor Whited, the number 1 batter, Cade Bell, the number 2 batter. Head back to the top of the order here in just a second. We've got a long way to go in this game if we want to make it happen. 15-7 your score. Tate steps back. He struck out last at bat. And we've got a long ways to go. We've got this and one more shot. Pitch on the way, outside. Corner for strike 1, and it was a good pitch. It caught the corner. Avery gets his sign, sets up the windup. Pitch on the way. He takes a swing at it, and he's going to knock it, but it's foul right over to Coach Sorrow, who's going to field it himself. 2 strikes now with the foul ball on Sykes. Avery sets up again. Ahead in the count now. The 0-2. Outside, he calls it a ball. And the CCA didn't like that call. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. The 1-2 delivery. He gets a piece of it and he's going to drive it up. They're going to bobble it over at third. Sykes is going to get there in time and beat the play on the error on the third baseman. And so Sykes down at first brings up Connor Whited. 15-7 your score. As Connor comes to the plate, reached on an error. Sun coming out off to the left side of left field. Shining bat on us. Pitch, squares bunt, pulls back. It's high. We take off to second, and we're in time. So a good attempt by Stetson Swells. Good attempt to throw us out at second. But we come in under the tag, and we steal. 1 ball now on Connor Whitehead with no strikes. The 1-0 delivery to Whitehead. Inside, down, gets past him. We're going to take off on the way down to third. And standing up when we get there. So Sykes now at third on the wild pass ball. 2 balls. No strikes on Whitehead. 15-7 your score. We're at third. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball, and it gets in there for a strike. Called strike at that. So 2-1 to count on Connor. Connor steps back in, gets his stance ready. Avery on the mound. Avery's pitched a good game today. He checks back to third, and now here's the delivery. Swung on. It was a little wave at it, but he got a piece of it. It's going to get over to second, and Tate will score, and Connor's thrown out at first. So cut off down there at first. But Tate's able to come in. We'll give him a sack there. I'll bring up Cade Bell. Cade Bell, left-handed batter, scored last time he was here, stole a couple bases to do it. That's now 15-8. Pitch to Bell. Swung on, mistimed swing, strike one. CCA battery doing a good job today behind the plate and on the mound. Keeping it together the whole game. Pitch is on the way from Avery. Outside for ball one. So 1-1 the count now on Bell. Sykes scored. Whitehead got thrown out at first, so we've got nobody on now with one out. 15-8. Pitch to Bell's going to be hit back up towards Avery over his head. It'll be out there and bobbling. It's Will Landron, who can't get to it in time, and he probably wouldn't have got it anyway, so we'll give it to Cade on the single. And that'll bring up Sloan Fountain. Sloan got on with a single. Stole second, stole third. Came all the way around and scored. So Bell with a lead. Sloan Fountain steps back in. It's 15-8. There's only one out. We're bottom of the fourth inning. They have played a game. Taking off as we're taking off down to second. Cade Bell throw's going to be not in time. So Bell slides in there under the tag. No balls, one strike now on Sloan Fountain. Cade Bell with a tremendous lead off of second. 0-1 pitch delivery. In corner, they called a ball. And it's 1-1 as we take off and head down. Cade Bell at third. Sloan Fountain a 1-1 count now. We're 90 feet away and we're edging down there. Hit right back up towards the pitcher. Avery's going to get it, throw it over to third. And they call him safe at third. Sloan hit a shot straight up the gut of Avery. Avery got it with the line out. And Cade Bell had to go back to third in time, and he went back in time, and from across the field, all the way across the field, the ump that was in the line called the play instead of the ump behind the plate. So coach from CCA is upset, justifiably, and somehow he overrules that, or they don't overrule it and he keeps it. I'm not sure that he should do that, but he did it anyway. Ledger Curl now at the plate. We got 2 outs, even though our scoreboard says 1. 15-8 the score. We got a runner at third now. Pitch on the way, low inside. Ball 1. Cade Bell sits down there at third now. 15-8 the score. CCA still ahead. They've been ahead this whole game. We haven't caught up yet. And we're getting late in this game. Pitch on the way high. Gets it back behind Stetson. Stetson's going to come to the fence to get it. And he's able to hold us at third on the ball. So ahead in the count now, Curl 2-0. 1 out, runner at third. That's Bell. Curl's able to score his last at bat. Pitch on the way. It's going to be low for ball 3. Three balls, no strikes on Curl. 3-0 delivery. And it catches the inside corner. He let it go by for a strike and burned one there. We're now 3-1 is Curl. Ahead of Avery. Avery has thrown a lot of pitches today. He's pitched this whole game. We've moved 3 in and out. 3 balls, 1 strike. The delivery on the way. He gets a piece of it, but hits it down. And it's going to be in play. The throw to third. Nope, it's foul ball. Blue called it. Blue let it get played, then he called it foul ball. So a full count now on Curl. It hit down on the plate, bounced up. And Curl calls timeout to tie his shoes. So while he does that, we'll remind you that the game will be, next game, 30 minutes after the completion of this game. We'll join the broadcast about 10 minutes till, so about a 20-minute break for us before we come back in and give you a little pregame activity for the second game. Ledger steps back in. He's got a full count. He's ready to go. Bell sits at third, gets a lead. Avery on the plate with the payoff pitch. Swung on, he waves at it, and strike 3, and he goes down swinging, and he ends the inning. So we are finished with 4. We head to the last inning. Top of the 5th is on the way. CCA leads VHA 15-8. You're listening to VHA Baseball on the Vidalia Heritage Sports Network.
Vidalia Heritage Academy is expanding its facilities and programs to meet the ever-growing desire for a Christ-centered academic experience which focuses on a student's total development: academic, social, physical, emotional, relational, and spiritual. Come visit us to learn more about the expanded programs for next year, such as dual college enrollment, fine arts, mission outreach, and our new varsity football team. Come discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
1 John 3:18 says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Have you considered the statement, actions speak louder than words? Maybe you've been in a situation where someone you know treated you bad, apologized, and then kept repeating that over and over, and eventually you've probably had enough. Think about that the next time you have the opportunity to put your actions in place of your words and love people through your actions and your words. Join us this Sunday at Smith Street Baptist Church, 503 Smith Street, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
So we head back to the final inning of the first game. CCA has a chance to build more insurance here. They've got a lot, 15-8. They're up right now as we head into this final inning. And they're going to take the opportunity to build some more. Meanwhile, on the mound, Ledger Curl comes in. Logan Menard moves down to third. Cade Bell over to short. Everybody else will stay where they are, or where they were, or both. At the second game coming up, 5 more innings after this one. 30 minutes after the completion of this game. It'll be just enough time for you to go and grab yourself a bag of chips and a drink and come on and join us for the second game. And if you're in the area, then come on out here to Higston Ballpark and you can follow the game yourself. Our guys have played a lot of baseball today. Both guys have played a lot of baseball today. And there's a lot more to go. They will sleep well tonight. Curl gets a couple more warm-up tosses in. Meanwhile, looks like leading off for CCA is going to be Will Landron. Actually, I have no idea. Yes, it is. Will Landron comes to the plate. Okay, I was right. They batted around or something last time, or I might have been making things up as I went along. So Landron will come to the plate. Stetson Swells will be on deck. Kaysen is in the hole. 15-8 your score. Final inning, top of the 5th. Curl on the mound. Fountain still behind the plate. Pitch is on the way. It's a high overarching inside pitch for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Another shot. Same pitch. A little more inside, but still high for ball 2. 5:30. We're 5 minutes away from a 2-hour game. And we've only played the 5 innings that we were going to play. Pitch on the way. Gets a piece of it. Sends it out towards the parking lot. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Will Landron. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball to the outside. 3-1 the count now for Landron. In the on-deck circle, Stetson Swells. Landron was walked his last at bat. Facing a possible walk again. Behind in the count, 3-1. Pitch. And they're going to say that he's got it. And he walks on down to first. That'll bring up Stetson Swells, the catcher. Stetson's made his way around the plates a couple times. Last at bat, he singled. Runners at first now. (15-8) your score, top of the fifth, no outs. They got a runner at first. They have the lead. They've had the lead all day. Curl with the delivery, waves at it, gets a strike. They're going to go back to first. Then he takes off, but he heads back down. Not going to go anywhere. For strike one. Well, the Nats have come back out now that the sun is out. It looked like it was going to storm on us for a little while. It was nice most of the game. The pitch, high. We go down to first, but not in time. So 1-1 strike now on Stetson Swells. (15-8), CCA with the lead. 5-run lead here in the fifth inning. The 1-1. Low for ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike now on Swells. The delivery inside, gets a piece of it, back up to Ledger, hits him on the shin. Ledger picks it up, though, and he goes to first in time for the out. So he took a little bang on his shin, but he's able to pick it back up and make the play on the 1-3. While Landron heads down to second, and Kaysen comes to the plate. Last time he was up, he was walked. He steps back out. Okay, getting the ball down here to the man in blue. 1 out now, but they got a runner in scoring, 180 feet away from the bag, or from the plate. Ledger with the pitch inside, catches him right on the inside, outside hip, and he'll take his base. That'll bring up the number 9 batter, Walker. Last time out, struck out looking. He'll come back up to the plate. And they'll call time as Coach Sorrow will go out and talk to his pitcher. And that's going to do it for Curl. So another pitching change. And we will take a break and come back. Tell you who's going where. You're listening to VHA Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
At Vidalia Heritage Academy Preschool, we believe there's nothing more precious to a parent than the children God has given them. Our goal is to partner with parents in providing each student with a solid foundation of academic excellence while integrating God's Word and truth into every aspect of their daily activities. Now is the time for parents to plan for the next school year, so we would like to invite you to visit us and discover the difference a Christ-centered education can make for your preschooler. Call 537-8776 for more information.
Psalm 120 says, I call on the Lord in my distress, and He answers me. How many times can we honestly say we've felt distress? Well, the answer isn't as easy as you might think. For some, they've felt it a lot, and for others, not so much. Regardless, we must remember that the psalmist wasn't any different than we are, in that if we call upon the Lord, He will answer us. We may not always get the answer we want, but that just means we need to conform to His will and not to our own. Join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. at Smith Street Baptist Church, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
So a pitch and change. Sprayed some of this gnat spray given to me by Larry Curl. Sprayed it right into my mouth. It doesn't have a good taste to it, but hopefully it'll keep the gnats away. Thank you, Larry. Now I'm going to need something to wash it down. So Whited is on the mound. He's working out a few pitches here, warm-up pitches. 15-8 your score, 1 out. It's the top of the fifth inning. And we're warming up out there as we get towards the end of this ball game. They're going to have a runner at first. They're also going to have a runner at second. And now my lips are starting to go numb from the gnat spray. I'm not sure what was in it, but it burns and it's numb. So everybody else is going to head to, looks like everybody else is going to stay where they were before the pitching change. No, it's not. Looks like we are going to move some folks around. So Logan Menard's going to go out to second. And Ledger's going to go over to third. And Connor Whitehead's on the mound. 15-8, your score, 1 out, 5th inning. CCA is trying to build more insurance. They've got a lot of policies already. Throw back to second's not in time. And safe is going to be Will Landron. So 15-8, your score, 1 out. Pitch on the way high for ball 1. Good job getting out of it. To get it was Sloan Fountain, and nobody will go anywhere. Pitch squares the bunt high, and Sloan comes out of his shoes again. I mean, he climbed a ladder to get a hold of that one. Walker pulls back, so he'll get credited with the ball, and it's 2-0. There's a pitch, squares the bunt. Over his head, he pulls back. And he's ahead in the count now, 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes on Walker. Runners at first and second. Whitehead with the pitch. Squares, pulls back, and he catches the inside corner for strike 1. So 3 balls, 1 strike now on Walker as he sits ahead in the count. 1 out on the board, 15-8 your score. Whitehead looks back to second. He steps off the rubber. And they go back and tag up. Pitch on the way high, ball 4. Walker will head on down to first, and the bases are now loaded. And that'll bring up Mick Swells. So there's 1 out. Chance for us to go anywhere with this. If we turn 2, we get out of this inning. Mick Swells back up. Last time out in the 4th, he flied out to the catcher, Sloan Fountain. The pitch, Swells gets a piece of it, hits it, it bounces high over Whitehead's head. 1 run's going to score. We go to first, and we get it in time. No, we don't. And the throw was in there, but not in time. And Mick Swells is safe at first with an RBI single. And they have scored Will Landron, and they have gone up 16-8. And the bases are still loaded, and there's still only 1 out. Or 2 outs now, 2 outs. With the RBI. No, he's safe. There's only 1 out. He was safe at first. Pitch on the way. Swung on. It's hit high. It's out towards left field. On the run is... And it's not going to get there. It gets to the corner. We're going to pick it up and throw it back in. 1 run's going to score. It looks like 2 runs are going to score. So Brock comes around and scores. Or excuse me, not Brock. Brock's the one that hit that ball. And that's going to score Kaysen. That's going to score Walker from second. And that's going to put Brock down there on second with the double. And the score is now 18-8. 1 out. That brings up Avery. Pitch on the way. And ball high for ball 1.
Don't force anything.
And a pitch on the way. Gets a piece of it. Tip foul for strike 2. Back into Sloan's glove for strike 1. Check that. 1-1 the count now. And 1 out. We have got to get out of this inning. We're back to 10 runs again. It's where we stayed most of the game. 18-8, CCA's lead. Pitch on the way. Inside, tip foul up towards the CCA fans, and it's going to drop right on them. And I don't know if it hit somebody. I don't think so. I think everybody's safe. So a foul ball is going to bring up a second strike on Avery, the pitcher. So 1 ball, 2 strikes as Sloan Fountain calls timeout to fix his shoe and some equipment issues there. He'll put it back on. He's ready to go now. Connor Whited sets up on the mound now. We're ready to go as our battery is together. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitched Avery high over his head for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on the pitcher, Avery. 1 out. 18-8. They got a runner at second. And a lot of chatter coming from the CCA dugout. They're feeling pretty right about now. I've been feeling good the whole day, it seems like. Pitch on the inside. Runs it full. 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Avery. Base runners look like this. They got 1 on, and that's Brock, who has a double and sent 2 RBI. Pitch on the way, hit high. It's going to go way over our heads and hit us on the top of our dugout. And Avery stays alive. That was Brock earlier. Hit the 2 RBI double. Way out to left field. It was out in the left corner. We couldn't get to it. And we request to get another ball from the ump. And we got it. So we're ready to go now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Avery staying alive. 1 out. Runner at second. 18-8. 10 runs, and we're behind. 5th inning. We got to get 2 outs, and we got to score 11 runs. Pitch on the way. High. Pitch tipped foul back over the press box and into the parking lot, and he'll stay alive with another piece. And apparently it's 19-8, not 18-8. One of those runs that they scored earlier didn't get added to the scoreboard. So 19-8, it's an 11-run game. We got to score 12. Pitch hit hard up the third base line. Ledger Curl can't get to it in time, and it goes out in the left field. And coming around third rather, is Brock from second. He's going to score. The throw to first is not going to be in time to try to get him off that bag. And Brock limps as he comes around and scores the 20th run. It's 20-8. Avery with a line drive got past Curl. And Avery's down there at first base with the single and an RBI. Michael Roberts comes to the plate now. He was hit by a pitch his last at bat. 20-8 the score. Pitch hit up towards first base, a little fly ball, and we're going to get under it, and that's Beecham with the out. And that'll bring up Michael Ortman, or is Jake. That'll bring up Jake. Jake batting for Ortman. And he struck out his last time at bat. And if we don't get him out here, they have batted. They will have batted around at the next batter. Pitch on the way low, and he chases it downstairs for strike 1. 12-run game now. There's so much distance between us and these guys that you just hope it doesn't carry into game 2. Pitch on the way. Tipped back foul towards the CCA fans. So 2 strikes now on Jake. 0-2 the count. 1 strike away from having a shot to come in at the bottom half of the last inning and do something. And when I say something, I mean we got to pack our bags and we might need to bring a lunch. Pitch on the way. Outside corner gets behind him, and that means that we're going to watch Avery take off from first and on the pass ball. Avery heads down 2. It's a wild pitch. Avery heads down to second. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. Pitch to Jake. Tips him, boom, and it comes back and it catches Blue's finger. And so the battery is going to walk out there and give Blue a second to recover. Came right off the bat and hit him right on his hand. You could tell it smarted. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs as Fountain and Whitehead give the ump a few minutes. So once again, we're looking at a chance right here to end this inning. We need it. Pitch is on the way. Swung on strike 3, and he gets him, and we do end the inning, but not before once again they do some more damage. They pick up 3 runs, and it is 20-8. We're coming back with a chance to do a lot if we can muster up somehow and score 13 runs. That's got to happen in the next inning or the game's over. We'll have that for you coming up. You're listening to VHA Baseball right here on the Vidalia Heritage Sports Network.
Vidalia Heritage Academy is expanding its facilities and programs to meet the ever-growing desire for a Christ-centered academic experience which focuses on a student's total development, academic, social, physical, emotional, relational, and spiritual. Come visit us to learn more about the expanded programs for next year, such as dual college enrollment, fine arts, mission outreach, and our new varsity football team. Come discover the difference a Christ-centered education at VHA can make for you and your family. Call 537-6679 for more information.
1 John 3:18 says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Have you considered the statement, actions speak louder than words? Maybe you've been in a situation where someone you know treated you bad, apologized, and then kept repeating that over and over, and eventually you've probably had enough. Think about that the next time you have the opportunity to put your actions in place of your words and love people through your actions and your words. Join us this Sunday at Smith Street Baptist Church, 503 Smith Street, where we're loving God, loving people, and making disciples.
The Vidalia Heritage Eagles.
So we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's the bottom of the final inning. CCA's up 20-8. We are literally 13 runs away from winning the game, and it has to be done in this inning. We're only playing 5. Of course, if we were playing the normal set of innings, we'd still have to have it done now because, well, we'd have to at least score a few. But that's not going to matter because we are behind by 12 in the final inning, bottom half. Leading off for the Eagles will be Lee Caraway, Matthew Norkus, and Noah Cummings. All of those guys coming in to get a shot at the bat. And so Lee coming in for Mason. Matthew coming in for Logan. And Noah coming in for the designated hitter, Rhett. And this makes my scorebook look really bad.
Come on, Lee.
So Lee Caraway steps to the plate in the bottom of this, the final inning of the first game. We'll be here a while if we win. We've got to score 13 runs. We're down by 12. Pitch on the way. It's going to be inside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes on Lee Caraway. Avery with the on the mound gets the pitch. Pitch is in there. And a good cut, but mistimed it. 1-1 to count now on the strike. So 1-1 to count. The delivery from Avery. He steps back out of the box, and it's ball.
Come on, buddy. You can do it.
2 balls and 1 strike.
Go, Lee.
It would have picked him up off his leg if he hadn't backed out of there. The 2-1. Swung on. He steps way out to the outside to swing. 2-2 now, the count. So the 2-2 delivery from Avery. Pitch. Swung on. Tipped got a piece of it, but it's out because he caught it. So that's out. The strikeout for Lee Caraway. That'll bring up Matthew Norcus. 20-8 your score. Bottom of the 5th, 1 away. Pitch to Norcus. Inside corner for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Pitch. Down low for a strike. It's in there. He calls it in there for strike 2. So Avery's ahead in the count, 0-2, with 1 away. Pitch is on the way, comes in, gets a piece of it, sends it back to the screen. So he'll stay alive with strike with the fouled ball. And the crowd is really quieted down out here. There's not a lot to talk about right now. Pitch. Swung on, mistimed it, got behind it. And strike 3, out number 2.
Let's go, Noah.
That'll bring up Noah Cummings to the plate. And somebody calls time. I'm not sure who called time. And maybe it was just Blue. I don't know. All right, so Noah steps back in. Pitch on the way to Noah. It's high.
Good
outside for ball 1.
Come on, kid. Just need 1.
1 ball, no strikes on Cummings' pitch. He calls it low for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes now. 2 outs, nobody on. 20-8, which means we got to score a lot of runs with 2 outs. But there's another game coming up. Pitch on the way. High. He swung on it. Strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch in there for strike 2. 2-2 the count now. So Deuce is on the board for Cummings. Pitch, going to get behind him. Almost hit him. He didn't move much, and it got behind him. Runs it full, 3-2. Avery with the payoff pitch. It's high. And Noah's going to head on down as it gets behind Sloan. It hit top of his, hits Swells the top of his glove.
Check it off, buddy. Hey, all we need is 1. Let the defense work.
That'll bring up DJ Smith. DJ Smith comes to the plate. Got a runner on first now. He was walked a moment ago. 2 outs on the board. Pitch on the way. Inside corner for a strike called on DJ. Avery with the delivery. It's going to be outside for ball 1. 1-1 now.
Smack it, 16.
Noah
Let's go.
on first, taking a lead, listening to his coach/dad. 1-1 the count now on DJ. Pitch on the way. Smith inside, almost catches him around the shoulder. He ducks back out of the way, and 2-1 the count now on Smith. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, the delivery on the way. Fastball outside for ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike now.
Come on, kid.
And the 3-1 delivery. It's on the way. It's high. Chased it upstairs and inside. And it's a full count now on DJ Smith.
Come on, kid. Come on, watch him.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch on the way. Swung on, then strike 3. And that's it. So we fall in full regulation with a 10-8 final. CCA victorious over Vidalia Heritage. Coming up, a second game in about 30 minutes. So that'll put us joining you at about 5:15. We'll be back on, maybe 5:20. We'll be back on the broadcast with the second game. Again, your final score from Higgston: CCA 20, VHA 8. You've been listening to Vidalia Heritage Baseball on the VHA Sports Network.
You've been listening to Vidalia Heritage Academy Baseball on the VHA Sports Network, brought to you by Vidalia Heritage Academy, where faith, family, affordability, and academic excellence meet, and by the Smith Street Baptist Church of Vidalia, loving God, loving people, and making disciples. This has been a presentation of the Vidalia Heritage Academy Sports Network. Soli Deo Gloria.